What's up, boys? Hope you're doing well. New video. I know we talked a lot. We've installed a lot on this platform right here with our 21 personnel, our ace formation with a tight end, two backs in the backfield. All right, you've seen these plays out of that formation for the most part, okay? And I love it, all right? That's physical, but even I know we can't be stuck. You can't live and die in it, okay? You can't be just a one-trick pony and just have that type of personnel and just live in that. No, we got to switch things up, obviously, and I believe that opening it up in doubles personnel, trips, empty, that really opens up a ton of possibilities for us, okay? And that would make us very difficult to defend. They'd have to, worry about ace. They're going to have to worry about motions. They're going to have to worry about doubles, trips, empty, short yardage with a double tight. Okay, that's our goal, guys, to kind of stay one step ahead of the defense and force them to adjust to us as opposed to us having to adjust to them. All right, so here, I love this right here, guys. So this is doubles, okay? Don't get caught up with doubles right, doubles left. So if we go doubles right on this, okay, the X and the S would be on the right, okay? And obviously, I can't change the letters here. And on the back side, we're going to have the Z, and the Y would be out of the game. Okay, this would be the A, okay, in our double set, guys. All right, but don't get too caught up in that. Here I want to talk about an inside run play, okay? And we're still pulling guys. We're still baseball. We're still getting physical. This is going to be called gut. All right, and there's a number of things we can do as we grow and as we progress out of this, guys. Okay, the quarterback is going to have the option to basically check at the line of scrimmage, okay? Key thing, all right, for Caden, we talked about it, all right? If we see two safeties, all right, we're taking a picture of the uprights. Okay, I see an open field here, open safety concept, okay, because the middle of the field's open. All right, and now I'm looking right in the box. I got 6. All right, so I wouldn't say it's a heavy box, okay, but we got 5 guys blocking, okay? And not saying that we can't run it in there effectively, okay, but it prevents some issues, okay? But this play, guys, we're going to call this gut, okay? Gut. So G, the way we did it, G, a guard is pulling, gut. We're basically running it up the gut, up the A gap right here, kind of like where you would on it's basically inside zone, but now instead of zone blocking, we're going to be pulling backside and more of a gap scheme. So let's just take a look at this, guys. Let me just let's illustrate this. Let's put that there. All right, so this play right here, guys, okay, we're just going to call it doubles right. All right, we're going to call it 24 gut. 24 gut. 2, the tailback is getting the ball. Gut, okay, 24, so it's going on the right side. 4 is going to be on the right on this play. Okay, so 24 gut. We're aiming point is going to be it depends on the front. Okay, I shouldn't necessarily say the aiming point. Okay, the aiming point may change depending on the front we get. That's why the tailback has to be just as aware of the front as the offensive line. All right, but the play side is the right on 24 gut. Beauty of this, guys, we can call this 14 gut. Nothing changes. The only thing changes is the quarterback is now running the ball up and in here. Okay, we can run that out of empty if the back is disconnected and he's in the formation. Okay, but we'll get to that in a second. All right, so here we go, guys. So we got 24 gut. All right, so aiming point for the back. He sees that there's a 3 technique right here on the play side. So we have a natural hole right here in the A gap. We don't want to run it out here. Okay, see how that D lineman is in the B gap? All right, and you get that end who's going to be outside leverage of that tackle. All right, so we have a natural gap in here. All right, well, how are we going to block this up? Okay, so here we go. I'm going to block. So if I'm the right tackle, if it's 24 gut and I got a wide 5, okay, I don't want him to cross my face because the tackle knows that the play is going into the right A gap. So the running back's going inside of that tackle. So I'm going to base that right there, all right? I don't want him to cross my face, okay? Same thing for the guard, okay? Same thing for the guard, okay? So he knows it's going on his left, inside his left hip. I got a 3 technique, even if it's a tight 2, okay, I'm basing that right there, okay? I got those guys covered. I'm dropping my hips, moving my feet, hands inside, I'm staying engaged, okay? Center, okay, we're blocking back to on, okay? So if it's 24, I know it's going to the right. I look back. I got a one, perfect. I got a one technique. I block back on the one right there. All right? And I don't get stuffed into the A gap. Okay. The left guard is pulling to the play side linebacker, which is this linebacker who's in the A gap right there. All right. So boom. It's almost like I guess some coaches call it a fold block, a cross block. All right. But I'm blocking back on the one, not getting jammed up. All right. I prevent penetration too from going through the A gap. I don't want him flying into the backfield. I got to take a good step with my left foot. All right. Cock my elbows back, drive my feet. Okay. Tight pull, tight pull, tight pull right up, and then I'm climbing on that backer right there. All right. Left tackle. I know that if it's a 24 gut or a 14 gut, nothing changes. I'm basing that guy right there. All right. Now, let's talk about communication. You guys have heard me use this term as an offensive line. Guys, we're not independent contractors. We work as a team, okay? We help each other out. Now, if it's gut, this is like a little trick that I used to use, okay? The left guard doesn't know if there's a one technique over here or a three technique. He will know if the right guard communicates to them. How do you communicate that? Right guard, on 24 gut, if you have a three technique, you're calling short, 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 just to that guard over there. It doesn't have to be loud. Just turn short, short, short. Well, what does that mean? That means it's a short pull, that he's just going right into that A gap. Okay? If this guy was a one technique, and I can draw that up after this, okay? If that defensive lineman, all right, is a one, okay, and this guy's over here is a three, so if it's a one, that right guard now blocks down on that. And he's going to make what they call a long call. All right, a long call just tells the guard now he's going to be pulling into the B gap because that's where the natural hole is. All right, here this guy's unblocked. Okay, well, what does that mean? Well, what that means is if he is going to be aggressive, if he's going to scrape over the top, all right, if he's over the top here, okay, the quarterback, his eye's not going to be to the tailback. His eye's not on the end because the end's blocked. His eye is going to snap right to that, I guess you could call it the backside inside linebacker. If he flies over the top, all right, and this guy fills as well, you got all this real estate open over here. We're going to use that to our advantage, okay? If I am the A over here, I'm running what they call a glance route, okay? I'm always anticipating the ball. Okay, so we're here, so that's going to be 5 hard steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a skinny post, 45-degree angle right here. And I'm looking for that ball. Look at it, because if he flies, okay, he flies, you got a lot of open real estate. I can really catch it. Okay, so quarterback, we're going to mesh. It's an RPO. Okay, it's an RPO. All right, so not a PPO, we're not pass, okay? So obviously, if this guy's flat-footed, if this guy's not aggressive, okay, or if he stunts down here, he's not going to tackle the back here. I'm going to give the ball to the back, okay? So 24 gut, we'll just call that automatic give to the back, all right? Sometimes we'll do that just to kind of see how that linebacker plays it. And then all we're going to call it is 34 gut. Nothing changes. All 34 means, okay, 34 gut, it just means that it's going to be an RPO, okay? I got a glance route here, looking for that ball right over the middle. Quarterback, there's your access, okay? Boom, right there, okay? If there's no conflict defender out there, throw it right now, okay? If you feel that it's cloudy, okay, you got a couple of options, and we'll talk about that, all right? Let's just say that this safety does a great job jumping that, and we don't like that look. We don't want to force it. We don't want to turnover. I got a backside right here. He's got 5 and in right there. If you don't like this quarterback, all right, on 34 gut, 24, whatever you want to call it, okay, we'll tighten that up, okay, then you can throw it to this guy right here. All right, you got 2 options. The other option, if you're no one panics. I'm just saying if you get kind of confused of what to do, if it's too cloudy, you could always do this. So back, if he disconnects the ball, okay, you go, I always say this, you go from tailback now to blocker. You don't have the ball, okay, it's 34 gut, okay, and we got 34 gut peak, okay? That's how we're going to just tag it, 34 gut peak. Boom, there's our peak. We're peaking for that glance route right there. Then you become the lead blocker if you don't have the ball, because the quarterback technically could disconnect, not like what he sees over here, and just takes it through the A gap as well. Okay, over here, okay, coach will coach you up. I'm not sure how we want to do on the backside here, okay, because sometimes, I mean, this Sam might be over there, and then we could actually run it over here if we want. We could change the back, flip the back, or whatnot, okay? But the goal is to kind of throw it, all right, on this RPO right here in this area, this open area, because if that linebacker fills, this linebacker fills because they see run, all right, because we're coming off the ball, we're pulling guards. It looks just like a run up the A gap, all right? And if their defense is aggressive, we want to use that against them, all right? So not trying to make anybody confused. We're going to call this doubles right, doubles, whatever you want to call it. Okay, we can tighten that up at another time, but this is going to be called 34 gut peak, okay? 34 gut peak and 24 gut and 14 gut are all blocked the exact same way. Nothing changes, okay? We're just kind of, for this video, we're just kind of putting the RPO into it so the receivers know where to go, all right? I'm going to, this upcoming video, guys, I'm going to just switch the front so we can kind of see like the short call, long call, and whatnot. All right, give me 1 second, all right? All right, so we got a new front here, guys, okay? And they switched the Sam. All right, so let's just take a look at this. So let's just talk about the blocking first before we get into the RPO. All right, so for the offensive line, 3 plays in 1. 14 gut, 24 gut, 34 gut peak. Exact same, nothing changes, okay? So let's just do the interior before we get into the RPO. All right, so let's just call this, guys, let's call this 24 gut. All right, 24 gut. All right, we're open safety, open field safeties, all right? Middle of the field's open. Okay, they got 2 safeties, and now I got 6 in the box, all right? We can block 5 of them. Okay, we can block 5. All right, so, and we're not going to block the other one. So this is the guy we're not blocking. Okay, that's the read guy. Okay, but we're not there yet. So let's just talk about the blocking scheme. So what do we call here, guys? Okay, so if it's 24, 14, 34, it's going to the right. All right, A gap right here. We're basing that just like last time, all right? You got an end, base him, he doesn't cross your face, he doesn't get into the B gap. Move your feet, expand the hole. Now guard, okay, now you have nobody in the B gap. You have no 3 technique. You have a 1 technique. You're gonna block that 1 technique down, okay? So pretty easy, guys, okay? So if it's a 3 technique, you base block the 3. If there's a 1 technique, you base block the 1, okay? But the call that guard is gonna give to the backside guard, long, long, long. It's a longer pull. Instead of pulling now into the A gap, now he's going to pull into the B gap. So that kind of gives them a heads up. All right, so long, long, long is the call. Communicate. Center, back to on. 24 gut, 14 gut, 34 gut peak. Back to on. I got to block back on that 3 technique right there. Okay, I'm pulling into the B gap tight on this linebacker. I have every dude blocked with the exception of this guy right here. All right, left tackle with base blocking that. All right. So let's just say let's just say we're giving it. Okay, and that's never a wrong thing to give because we got a great back. We got a great back, we got a great quarterback. Okay. Now he knows I can't really aim into the A gap. The A gap, if it's a one-way street, there's traffic there. Okay, but the B gap is open, and that's where the guard is pulling. I want to get on that guard's hip, so that would be my aiming point right there. Okay, the quarterback's eye is going to snap to that linebacker right there because he's technically our read guy. Okay, now this is where we have to just have talk to the coach or whatever you guys think too. All right, obviously we have a conflict defender right here. Okay, because under the normal circumstances, what do you do? If it's 34, now let's talk RPO action, 34 gut peak. If we're just calling that without adjusting or anything like that, what would that look like? That would be, this guy would have the glance. This guy would, I just call that 5 yard in. Okay, but this guy poses some problems here. We don't know what he's doing, okay? Is he going to reroute that guy? Is he coming off the edge? Is he going to get some depth back, okay? So that's cloudy over there. That's cloudy, all right? My suggestion on this one, just because we can use our heads, I think we have pretty good football IQ here, all right? This is kind of sealed up over here, okay? I'm not saying that we can't do it, all right? But I think it would be more to our advantage if we ran it over here. Because if you look at all this real estate, they're kind of selling out to the left, but they're opening up that real estate over there, all right, for us to catch it and run. Whatever we think on this, okay? But anyways, we could technically not flip the back. You could flip the back, whatever you want to do. Or quarterback just sees it automatically out here. He could technically yell Hawaii, 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 okay, where he just runs a hitch, catches it, breaks the tackle, or we can just go through our progression, our peak over here. Okay? Don't want to confuse anybody, all right? But I do want to just say that there's more than one way to skin a cat here. If we don't want to throw into traffic, okay? But if we like it over here better, we got to find a way how to communicate that, all right, to these receivers over here. All right, we're not going to change anything for the offensive line, okay? If we're running the ball right in here, that's our path, okay? Quarterback, all right? If you disconnect here, and let's just say you have your eyes over here. Let's say this guy fills, okay? This guy steps up on run, okay? You still want to throw it. It's got to be, we can't force it. Okay, it's got to be in that area here. I'm not saying that we can't run it against this 3 over here. And maybe you can, okay? I've always had a hard time running this into the teeth of the defense over here. You guys, we can rep that out and practice and whatnot. You can still run it, all right, and figure out what we want to do on the backside. Or I always say take what hey, what's a free gift? Never reject a free gift. This is a free gift out here. Okay, if they're so worried about our tailback ripping it up through the B gap and an A gap, okay, and they're worried about the quarterback like disconnecting and running, and they want to put guys opposite the tailback over here, all right, they're giving you a free gift over here. All right, there's a lot of access on the right. Something to think about, that's all. But at the end of the day, guys, this is, like I said, 14 gut, 24 gut, G, guards pulling, okay, or 34 gut peak. Let's go to the other side, all right? All right. This is going to be doubles. Doubles right, doubles left. Doesn't matter for this video. All right, we're calling this now, all right, for the offensive line. All right, so these are your 3 possibilities on this play. All right, all 3 plays in one. We got 26 gut, so it's going to the left. 16 gut, same exact play. Now that just the quarterback is the ball carrier. And we got 36 gut peak. All right, so let me just fix up the formation a little bit here. Let's put him here. Okay, so same deal. We're about 5 yards from the heels of the center. Okay, we're going to be, we can alter our alignment here if we want a little bit, because we're not running buck. We're running more downhill as opposed to buck, which is more lateral. All right, but let's just take a look, guys, okay, for the video. So we're going to go up front. We're just going to call this 26 gut. All right, so it's going to the left A gap. So now the back pre-snap read, A gap's open. So, all right, so 26, so it's play sides is on the left. I'm base blocking that defensive end. He's not going to cross my face into the B gap. All right, so I got a 3 technique here. Boom, that's a good player right there. I want to keep my pads down, move my feet, don't overextend, okay, and then stay engaged. Center is back to on. Center knows if it's gut to the left, he has to look back to the right first. I got a 1 technique, base that. Now, quarterback, we got same thing, open field safety, but now this is a 4-3, so I got the inside linebacker, the Mike, is right over the center, and let's just say that these outside linebackers are, they're kind of worried about our slots. They're wide. So the way I see this, guys, I got 1 second level defender in the box. That's it. Whoop, hold on 1 second.